The chilling silence of a typical Tuesday morning was shattered by the sound of gunfire, transforming the halls of Oxford High School in Michigan into a scene of unimaginable terror. It was November 30th, 2021, and a 15-year-old student, armed with a 9mm Sig Sauer handgun, had begun a rampage that would last just 5 minutes but leave an indelible scar on a community. This was not a random act of violence. It was the culmination of ignored warning signs, a failure of responsibility, and a tragedy that would ultimately claim 4 young lives and injure 7 others, setting a legal precedent that reverberates across the nation. Remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the Calendar of Crime. Also add coming soon to Substack. The events leading up to the shooting were a series of missed opportunities. The shooter's parents had purchased the weapon for him just 4 days prior, a fact that would later become central to their own criminal prosecution. On the morning of the attack, school staff had confronted the shooter and his parents about a disturbing drawing he had made, depicting a gun, a bullet, and a wounded figure, accompanied by the chilling words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." Despite the clear red flags, the parents refused to take their son home, and the school allowed him to return to class after a brief meeting. Less than 3 hours later, the shooting began. At 12:51 p.m., the shooter emerged from a bathroom and opened fire. He moved systematically through the hallways, firing at students and staff. The attack was swift and brutal. 4 students were killed: 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, 16-year-old Tate Meyer, 14-year-old Hannah St. Juliana, and 17-year-old Justin Schilling. 7 other people, including a teacher, were wounded. The shooter eventually surrendered to police without further incident, but the damage was done. The names of the victims became a tragic rallying cry for change, forever etched into the memory of the Oxford community. A landmark case, the aftermath of the shooting brought unprecedented legal action. The shooter, Ethan Crumbley, was charged as an adult and ultimately pleaded guilty to 24 charges, including 4 counts of first-degree murder. In December 2023, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. However, the most significant legal development involved his parents, James and Jennifer Crumbley. They were charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, a groundbreaking decision that held them criminally responsible for their son's actions due to their alleged negligence and failure to secure the weapon and address his mental health crisis. The trials of James and Jennifer Crumbley, held separately in early 2024, captivated the nation. Prosecutors argued that the parents were grossly negligent, ignoring their son's deteriorating mental state and providing him with easy access to a deadly weapon. Both were found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, marking the first time in U.S. history that parents were held criminally responsible for a mass school shooting committed by their child. In April 2024, they were each sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison, a sentence intended to send a clear message about parental responsibility in gun ownership and mental health care. The Oxford community continues its long and difficult journey toward healing. The tragedy sparked intense debates about gun control, school safety protocols, and the critical need for mental health resources in schools. For the families of Madison, Tate, Hannah, and Justin, the pain is permanent, but their advocacy has become a powerful force for change. The legal battles may have concluded, but the questions they raised about accountability, prevention, and the signs we choose to ignore remain vital for every community across America. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.